evening to you. How had your week been? To me, it was a great one, very exciting. Just came back from Enugu for the conference. That's the annual general conference of the Nigerian Bar Association. Our topic and theme for this year's conference is stand tall, stand out, and stand tall. Stand out and stand tall. And it was something to behold. I'll give you that part of it next week. I will be calling, I will be inviting one or two of our colleagues who will let you know, even you as a voter, how to stand out and stand tall in the face of all these non-active activities of our political actors in terms of they delivering dividends of democracy. By now, since 1999, we should not be suffering the way we are suffering with the enormous resources at our disposal. It's time for us to stand out and stand tall as voters. We will not allow them to lead us by the nose anymore. I can feel my brother on my right side shaking his body that indeed it's so. You agree with me? Yeah. So before I unveil my guest, don't let me go too far. Today, again, we just want to lay the foundation for next week's event, activity, and topic. And what is the topic for today? How the political stakeholders have shortchanged us. They are now jostling, or as we call it, horse trading for 2027. We that voted them in, giving the short end of the stick, we are just suffering. And fella would say, smiling. In fact, there's nothing to smile about. It is suffer for world. I don't think enjoyment is for heaven. So being a person will reach heaven, go they enjoy. This suffer to the detriment of the people. God has really endowed us with so much. Anyway, I know that I'm just giving the teaser. Our guest will really do the finisher. I'm Dongwewe. I'm Wale Ogwade, your host on this program called Voters Forum. And of course, coming to you from the city of Lagos, live and direct. Dongwewe will soon be back after the mini feature. So unveil our guest and we'll get cracking. Back. The mini feature has really introduced what we want to say. But then, the most important thing to me, and I'm sure to you, is what is this problem of implementing the policies that we have promised? I don't know. And this is a question I'll ask the three gentlemen in the studio. But before I go to asking them questions, I want to unveil them. To my immediate right is Comrade Declan Ihekari. He's a human rights activist. Comrade?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome to the program. To my immediate left is Malam Ishaya Ibrahim.
Thank you so much,
He's the news editor in Niche.
Thank you for having
me. And of course, by no means the least, Pastor Tunde Oyeshiji. He's an elder statesman. And of course, we always enjoy voice from him, experience from him, and we tap from his knowledge. All of you are welcome. And I want to ask you this question, and I want each one of you to give us, that's how we'll start today. And the issue is, election promises becomes government policies. Election promises becomes government promises once that person who makes those election promises by way of manifesto gets elected into office. So my problem now is that once they get into office, why do they fail to go to implement those? Rather, maybe we'll go in the first leg. The second leg is, then of course, it now falls to the topic of today. But the first thing is, why are promises, which are now policies, not implemented or not brought up at all once they now get into office? As Fela would say, they will start doing a new thing. Why, sir? I'll start from you, Pastor.
Thank you very much. Some of the promises they are making, they knew that they cannot keep it. Again, I don't know how they arrive at making these promises. You remember our immediate past president, when they told him that your party promised this, promised that, promised the other one. He said he's not the one that gave the promise.
Exactly.
So you are the way they rule us in this country, you are confused. You do not really know where the promises are coming from. And those who are making the policies, they just sit down somewhere. Our policies are very good in paper. Even though some of all these policies favor those who are in government. But even apart from that, they will make a policy, but it is very difficult for them to implement it. It is a big problem. If they make a policy, maybe about food, about rice, about this, about that, you will see that they will introduce insincerity. They will introduce insincerity.
Politics.
So politics will come into it. If I want to plead, our human rights people, they should also make a meeting and come together so that anytime each of them is getting out of the real promises he made, they can be able to call them back, because our own problem in this country are nothing but breaking down of promises that lead to bad policy. And those who are in charge of the policy, they are not really or willing to do anything that will favor other people.
Challenge accepted, sir. You can be sure. In fact, the reporter, our correspondent, raised the issue of the civil society coming to monitor, and you have now brought it again. And I'm sure it's an issue that we are taking up. And it's one of the issues that we brought up in the conference in Enugu that we just finished 3 days ago. And of course, you know, when I started, I said, lawyers now, in fact, civil societies, we want to stand out and stand tall in defending democracy and people's rights, and ensuring that those who are in governance are held accountable to the people. It is no more going to be business as usual. You can be sure, because we have reasoned. It is a communique. We have agreed that that's the way forward, because don't let me go too far. Malam, the same question to you. I told you all of you will have a share. Election promises becoming government policies, but why is it difficult to implement them?
Let me first thank you, Barrister, for the selfless sacrifice you make to ensure that this program comes up every time, every weekend.
Thank God.
It's helping to educate people. And one of the problems we have is that there is so much resources in the hand of elected officials. That shouldn't be. Discretionary funds, not just money that they account for when they don't account for. Security votes, for instance. I saw a report, 2018, by Amnesty International. The title is Camouflaged Cash: How Security Votes Fuel Corruption. That report detailed that annually over $600 million is allocated as security votes. And these are discretionary funds. Right from the president, the governors, local government chairmen, they have funds that they don't account to anybody on how they use them. And when you see politicians congregating, trying to wrestle power, that is where their eye is. For instance, the president's salary, you know, there was this debate whether to increase his pay, whether not to increase his pay. And it is because the elected officials don't live on their pay. That is why they are not interested. Otherwise, the chairman of RMAFC told us that the president pays just 1.5 million, which is $1,000. Which is less than half of what people who do care work in the UK earn. So how can our president be living on 1.5 million naira? That's impractical. You understand? No, that's even monthly. Now that's monthly.
Sorry, monthly.
That's monthly.
Sorry, monthly.
But that money was fixed since 2008. And at the time, it was $12.5 million. So in today's exchange rate, that would be almost 20 million naira. But he stuck with that money. And he's not interested. In fact, he will not even allow them that review be done.
Oh, yeah.
They will use the opportunity to say, oh, no, we don't want it.
So,
We're looking out for
as a
Nigerians.
small screen.
That's a small screen because the bigger problem is that security
the
vote.
votes.
How do we get it away from them and channel it to the various security agencies? Because that security vote of $600 million, that was about 70% of the police annual budget. So when you see a typical police station say we don't have fuel to go and effect arrests, or you have to pay for stationery to even write your own statement, you understand that they are running at almost zero budget. But these monies are in the hands of various officials who now say, okay, we are donating vehicles, we are donating this, we are donating. Why should you be donating when it is our own commonwealth that should be properly allocated? So until we address these fundamentals, we will come around and still be repeating ourselves that promises have only been fulfilled on paper, not in reality.
Thank you so much. Comrade, I'll leave it to you. For these purposes, I'm not a comrade. So you are the comrade here. I will want you to look at this issue too, based on the question I've asked your two other colleagues. And that's election promises becomes government policy when elected. But why?
Thank you. Election promises are made, but when they eventually get into power, because they don't get into power through proper election. So those promises now become what are called selective promises. Because the process of them getting into that place hasn't come through proper electionary system. And that's why you see people who are the helm of our head today, they have what I call I don't care attitude. Whatever you like, say as electorate. Whatever you like, do as electorate. Be careless, or you will not get there through your mandate. And until we begin to have people who get into power through popular mandates, promises will always be made and will never be kept. Who do you want to hold responsible? Is it somebody who did not get into power through your popular vote? Who some cabals brought into power? So he will only succeed in making those promises to the reality of the people. Then the promises will be fulfilled in the midst of those who brought him or her in. And that's why you have a set of people in government today who wins election. But at the end of it all, their major interest is to satisfy self and satisfy those around them. All because they did not keep any promise. And again, before they even make such promises, in quotes, they spend so much money. Our election period costs so much money. You find a politician who wants to go for maybe councillorship, for instance, and you are made to pay close to 10-15 million naira to even get
the form.
Of course, you will be forced under that condition to make promises. That you will do this, you will do that. And as soon as you get there, the first fulfillment is your pocket. The next fulfillment is your family members. They are followed by your party members. They are followed by your loyalists.
So the voter is cut off.
The voter is practically cut off because we matter not to them. And this has come as a result of the umpire, INEC, that has refused to do the needful. At the National Assembly, that has refused to do the needful by making sure that our electoral system is good. We have been calling for electoral reform for a very long time, but nothing is being done in that direction. And until we get to that level of proper scrutiny of our electoral system, then we might not be able to get the right people that will make promises and we can hold them on up to those promises made.
Thank you. I guess Comrade has thrown a big challenge to you, the voter. I can assure you from my experience and interaction with members of the National Assembly that they are not going to change the law. Because nobody will want to kill himself. That's self-elimination. For them to change the law, to make INEC to now begin to take advantage of all the various lacuna, the various gaps that you have observed in the electoral process, they will not make the law. And there is nothing, if they don't make the law, there is no way that the electoral process can be fine-tuned. The only way to making the law or to allowing a new law to come is for those who are not ready to support new electoral regime to be removed from the National Assembly through voting them out in the next election. That's all. Because unfortunately, the recall system in Section 69 of the 1999 Constitution has been difficult to get. And since you can't recall them, the only way to flush them out is through an election. So when the election time comes, look at them, those who have refused to move towards your own interest. Remove them and bring new people in who are ready. By the time we sweep some people out, you can be sure that those who are in will not want what has befallen the other ones to befall them. So they will work very hard to sustain that office. That's just by way of intervention. Malam, Comrade has now choking face inside the core topic of today, giving the electorate or the voter the short end of the stick. We voted people that they should serve us. We voted people that they should help us. We voted people that they should use the instrument of government to make our life better. Let me give you one or two examples. It's because of the insecurity that makes us to fly. All of us, virtually all lawyers who went to Enugu, we flew, except those who are in Abakaleke or Nsukka or those around that are working that drove. Most of us. And it was what is always fun whenever we are going to Jos, to Kaduna, to Port Harcourt, to go by road. We'll stop by the way, buy things, eat, have fun, and so on. But this one, within 1 hour, we are there. Where am I going? The road and insecurity. And unfortunately, as we said, I told you, next week, you are people, you're going to have a lot of expose. We have now since discovered that government security is for those in, police security is for those in authority. They don't secure us, they don't protect us. If you are traveling, you see them, they just pass you by with convoy of more than 20 people, 20 policemen, and you in your bus, you alone. If anything happened to you, you are on your own. But they are secured. And the government, by virtue of Section 12 of the 1999 Constitution, is to provide welfare and security of the people. That's the essence of government. I'm saying this so as to whine you, particularly the two of you.
Maybe I should even remind you that the government, the APC government that is in force today, actually promised to withdraw policemen from VIPs and now replace those policemen that have been withdrawn with civil defense. That was actually a promise that I thought this would be good.
It's part of the topic. That is the promise now
but Comrade Declan has made a very valid point here. The cost of election is like very expensive.
Seriously.
Apart from the layer of people you have to settle, you know, talking about the chieftains of the party, some major stakeholders, including traditional institutions, all of those groups that you have to settle. Just think of even the number of polling units that you need to appoint polling unit agents. If, for instance, you are contesting as a councillor, which is even the lowest elective office, the minimum polling unit that you may require to become a councillor is not less than maybe 100. So think of somebody who has to have polling unit agents across 100 polling units. How much you have to pay those polling unit agents, the logistics involved. And if you don't have the money to mobilize at every polling unit, there are critical stakeholders in that community. If you don't have the resources to mobilize them, then you're almost going to be out of the game.
Not almost, you're out of the game. You know, I'm involved in this.
Then when you now get the money to do the bigger mobilization, you have to recoup your funds. We in my house in Kaduna, we used to share a fence with a local government chairman. The man local government is different from where he lives.
Okay.
He's from Igabi local government.
Okay.
But he lives in Kaduna North. Kaduna North is the city center there. That's where
Kaduna
he was
itself.
living, yes. And every morning, I count no less than 20 people with different faces.
That will come to Kaduna?
There will be, yes.
Not in Igabi.
No. In fact, before he wakes up, they're already there.
Yes, now.
And then somebody even made a funny joke. He said there are 3 layers of them. There are those who can have access to the man's sitting room.
Mm-hmm.
There are those who can have access inside the compound.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ones outside are the ones about 20 minimum. And he has to settle every one of them. Every day you find them. Every day, 365 days in a year. You find them there. Throughout his tenure as local government chairman. What money is he using to service these people? And if he doesn't do that, he's certainly going to lose the next election. So we should copy from other civilized climes. Like Canada, I have a friend who told me that in Canada, you don't require to hold major rallies to be elected. All you need to do is to send mails to your constituents, telling them what you want to do when they elect you. And you also give them the opportunity to book appointment so that they can come and you have time to tell them your programs. Unless we begin to change from all these massive rallies and mobilization, mobilization is money we're talking about. We always have these challenges of promises not be fulfilled.
Okay, then. We'll go on a short break. Our guest here will have to take some water. And when we come back, we'll be on the homeward stretch. Don't go away. We've been introducing the SMS. You people, I deliberately did not want us to use the SMS or the phone because it's a distraction here. And some of you, the simple instruction is that do not call. Send your text message. You want to hear your voice. This is not the time. When it's time, we'll open up the lines for you to be involved. Now, send your messages. We'll read it. We'll call your name. Shike, now, what is me? Your name, so from Shagamu, so from Aguleri, so from Kauranamuda. We'll read your text message. And that's all. When it's time for you to intervene through your voice, we'll let you know. Please. And you know, if you now call instead of texting, I'll look at your number and I'll send it to NCC for disobedience. Don't let us do that. Then those of you who are not at home or who are on the go, you can watch us on Google, Play Store rather. Just go to Play Store and go to the Galaxy Play Store app. And of course, you'll be seeing us real time, on your phone, anywhere you are. Don't go away. We'll soon be back. Quickly, there are 2 public announcements to be made in respect of, we call it corporate social responsibility. The first one is those of you who live in flood-prone area, flood routes, you know it. The rain, this one small rain has informed you, or one small flood has given you notice. And the second round of the flood, we've been told, will be devastating. We don't want any story that touches the heart. And we don't want you to be a victim of this. Know that this part of government's problems, they have failed us. By now, they should do either they revamp the dams, create more canals, dredge more of the rivers and so on, so that we will not have water problem or flood problems. Or in the alternative too, all these big men that are building on the drainage part, on the waterways, it does not matter who they are, nobody is above the law. Their houses should be brought down and they should be penalized for breaking the law. But because this is our country, but all these things are what we, the lawyers, have now said we'll be doing. Don't worry, you will begin to see action. Be that as it may, the second one is the INEC. Those of you who have just gotten into the age 18 bracket, or those of you who have relocated, you have lost your voter's card, or you did not register at all in the first instance, the window has been opened by INEC. Go to the nearest registration center. It's called the Continuous Voter Registration. Go to the nearest voter registration center and get yourself registered. That's the only way you too can partake and be involved. And as my people will say, you get mouth for this thing where we dey talk. And the ball is now in your court. so that there will not be any excuse come 2027. Don't disenfranchise yourself. This is an opportunity for you to be a registered voter so as to cast your vote when it's election time. That's the end of this announcement. Pastor,
Sir,
I hope you heard what
I heard it.
So, please, sir, take it up from there.
Actually, what he said is true that there are people who gathered in all these our politicians' house in the morning, in the day, in the night. But if you look carefully into our politicians' way of doing things, they even set money aside for that. They call it constituent allowance.
Okay. No, sir, but, well, that's what they call it.
That's what they call it.
But constituent allowance is not even constituent allowance. It should be for constituent projects.
For project.
Okay, but they call it constituent allowance.
They call it constituent allowance.
It's okay.
They say it is from there they take. What I'm saying is that with all what is happening and with all enough money in the hand of our politicians, they are supposed to do what is right. But we need to do a thorough work, both INEC, the people, because those people that the way they work on politicians on this country also is another problem. Remember, they took Ngige somewhere to make a covenant. And the agreement was immediately you get your allocation, you give me so amounts of money. So we have a lot of problem. So our politicians will need to sit down, and civil society need to sit down so as to tell them that this is the way. Like you said, all these our forefathers, like Chief Awolowo, they didn't behave like this. They did not behave like this. In fact, they also need to use wisdom, to use sense, and think that when they make a promise, look how to fulfill it. Chief Awolowo said, when they are saying there is no money, that there is money, that they are setting a certain amount aside so as to drink tea. So they now they know how to keep money and to see how to bypass the promise that they have made. We want to tell them that whatever happens, if you make a promise, try and fulfill that promise. You have been given enough money to do that one. It is those people who go to them in the morning. Some people send them there. Some they report to some people. It is these people they reported to. There are big people. They don't come like that, but they call the shots. They are the people that they give maybe a contract or one thing or the other, and it's for a purpose. And they are not giving all these things so as to fulfill the promise, but to take care of them as a political leader. So both INEC, the people, we really need to sit down and think and say, if we keep going like this, we will not be able to solve our problem. And like you said, we pray that God will help us to be able to stand. But remember, people who wanted to stand, they were not even standing, but they wanted to stand at the toll gate the other time. You know what Buhari did for them? So let lawyers please rise up so that when people stand up, they will not see as somebody who just sent soldiers to them to go and wipe them out. Because it's like we are living in a country where animals are in charge. Yes. So we want to see that all these promises are fulfilled. They must fulfill. There is enough money in their hand. They should fulfill the promise they made. And once they don't fulfill, let's be upon them so that they will be able to fulfill these promises.
That's where the lawyers come in. You just throw the channel. That's what we said at Enugu at this conference. We are going to stand out. And we want the people to stand out with us too. We also want to stand tall. You remember now, when we are doing our Luther, after one day, people begin to shout, look, we don't want again, we are tired, just let them be, make we to enjoy our daily bread. That is not going to happen anymore. We will not be led by the nose anymore. We are going to stand out as lawyers, as Pastor Yeshiju has said. We have agreed and we have promised ourselves that way. And of course, we want you, the people, to stand out with us. Together, we will now do what? Stand tall. Don't go away. We want to go on a short break. And when we come back from that break, we'll continue. Please take heed. In local palace, as Yoruba man, they will say, it is the lame that listen that the war will not overcome. Secondly, the long stick, do not enter my eye. You quickly take that note far away. The elections, this election is going to be sweet, oh, I can assure you. It's going to be sweet. And it will be better for you to be part of that sweetness. Then, of course, please, those of you again who live in the flood-prone area, the message has been sent. Take heed. Malam, where are the journalists here? The people need more education, not all the time television, social media, all of them, particularly these youths. In fact, it's interesting the way these youths are engrossed with their phones. The other day, thank God I was not speeding. I saw the young man. I just stepped on the brakes. He was walking towards me on the road, watching his phone or reading his phone till he bumped onto me. Assuming I was speeding, I was not careful. I will run over him. That's what it means. He bumped right in front of me. So where am I going is that the social media is where to be, particularly sending messages to the youth. What are you journalists, media people doing? Because enough is enough. Just as I said some few seconds ago, this 2027 election goes sweet. Let them be jostling and be frustrating the politicians. We know where we are going and we know what to do. We should not be led by the nose. But before we do that, awareness and education is key. And that's why you people come in.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, the conventional media and journalists actually came a bit late to the social media trend. Some other people have already
held on.
They held on it and they became the influencers. And then people now rely on them. And because they are not professional,
yes,
so you might have people promoting chaos instead of even order. But fortunately, you will find that mainstream media and mainstream journalists are now big people on social media, churning out so that when I remember I was on a space and people were talking about doing an economic debate between the policy of this person and the policy of that person, that politician. And they were looking for who will be the judges. And they were actually looking out for mainstream journalists.
Yes.
Because they are the ones with the core training.
Yes.
And that have the capacity to separate their bias from their partisan position. So that is where we are now. But I want to also add my voice to something said by one of our guests earlier, that we plead on INEC to make sure that this 2027 election is free, fair, that the playing field is level. And the only way that can happen is for them to also lend their voice to the ongoing debate in the National Assembly, so that IREV will become a major source of election collation. Let's not rely on manual collation. It is outdated. It is not in any civilized society to rely on manual collation, because it will be a society where might is right. Yes. Anybody who has access to violence, who has a capacity for violence, can go there, wreck the whole place, and write whatever result that they want.
Or who has a deep pocket.
Deep pocket. But if you have election transmitted right from the polling unit to IREV, and that becomes an acceptable source of election collation, that will take away a lot of all of these problems that we are talking about.
Okay. Comrade, as an activist, you know, what was it now? The bug falls at your table. You and your colleagues, I'm equally part of you anyway. How do we move towards ensuring that the system, these people who promise, bring out, implement, make these promises work, or they implement the promises, or through government policy. Maybe we'll now look at the second leg is even being consistent with government policy. To me, any policy that government puts in is a good policy. Now, abandoning it is, to me, is a big error. 4 years ago, when I started traveling by road to Abuja, whenever I'm going to Abuja from Lagos, as soon as I'm entering Okene, I'm sure many people, you may know that people who travel, there's this big project that has become an elephant. It's a big, maybe 3 or 4 story building. Maybe they say it was government of one person that wanted to turn it into a 5-star hotel or whatever. It's still standing there. I stand to be corrected. Maybe after today I'll call one of my people in Okene to help me send a picture, to video it and send it so that we'll use it for people to see that I'm lying. The only thing is that God will help them within 1 week, and I'm sure it's not possible for them to either finish it or to remove the building. That building has been there for more than 20 years. For more than 20 years. And it's a government policy, government project. It has not seen the light of the day. I went to some corners too, even in Ogun State here. They don't have good roads. And during election, the politicians go there, they promise them that they are going to tar the road. And unfortunately, self-effort cannot do it. Government needs to bring its machinery through contract and all to ensuring that these things sees the light of the day. What role will you play, my brother?
Yeah, thank you. It's quite unfortunate that we are.
We are
in a situation where we have very deceitful people.
Huh?
Very deceitful.
That language, I like Amo.
In the sense that you see them today campaigning, you see them in an open roof vehicle, waving people, some even trek, buying corn, buying this on the road, trying to look very local, very common. As soon as they win or they get into power, you see them using tinted glasses to cover.
Not even tinted, they become inaccessible.
Exactly
they will not pick your calls.
Yes, yeah. So it's quite unfortunate that we have those crop of people in power today, and that is why you see them always wanting to play a role of looking as if they have made promises, they need more time to fulfill those promises. They will tell you, it will not be enough for me to fulfill my promises in one time, which is 4 years. I need extra time to do S, A, Z. But you ask yourself, why must you repeat a class if you are good? If you are good and you've done well, why do you have to force yourself to repeat a class? So we're in a country where a politician has failed badly, and
let me correct it.
Okay.
We're in a country where the politicians
have failed, okay? That's those in power. Or they want to return themselves on the understanding that, look, I was unable to finish all I promised you in tenor 1. And tenor 2, I'll be able to do it. And so you are so confused to ask yourself, the likes of Alhaji Lateef Jackson, 1979 to 1983, did how many times? Kekode did only 1 time. And it was great.
It was.
And the landmark project that he laid in is still in existence today. And so, we have people who get themselves into power, not the truly popular vote. And so that's why you find them trying to say, I want to go back to second term. Going back to second term could be good if only the people are the one asking you to go back, because you have done well. But in a situation where you have not done well, you want to insist that you want to go back for second term. It's quite unfortunate. And that's why someone like me have been canvassing saying, I think a single term of 5 years should be good for this nation. Where straightforward, we want to see how best you do. We don't give opportunity to come back and do. Mention Ogun State and some other places you say you've been to, and you see projects lying down there. It's quite a shame. I'm quite aware of some projects that were carried out by the last administration in Ogun State. Until date, those projects are still lying there. And we have a governor that has done one term, is doing second term now. I don't know when our people will learn. The voters should learn. We have learned in a hard way. It's time to practicalize that punishment we have received in the hand of politicians. And what do? What we do is this: collect whatever they give you, but vote against them. Until we get to that level, we might not be getting it right. I always tell people, let them give you the money, let them give you the bags of rice. They will follow you to the polling booth. Do your conscience right by voting them out. When we keep on doing that, I can assure you, they will stop giving out money to people. Because they must have known that, oh, even if I give money, I will not be voted. So everything lies in the hand of our National Assembly and INEC. And like Riley said earlier, we have the National Assembly that are already benefiting from those bad position of our electoral system. So it will be difficult for them to say we want to perfect laws or acts that will make election count in this nation. And like you said, in the civil society aspect of it, the lawyers are also part of it. The NBA is part of it. So I was also happy when the NBA took the position they took in Enugu. We want to see you people also coming out at this point in time to say enough is enough.
You go see them.
When things are done wrongly, when people get to power wrongly, I want to see the lawyers come out and say we are boycotting the courts.
We will see.
Judges say we are boycotting the courts.
We will see.
And so by that, politicians will be afraid that they will know every eye is on them.
Yes, all eyes on them. Before we go, 2 people have sent some messages here. One is asking, please, good morning, sir. Is there any way I can register on the internet? There is nothing like that for now. You want to register, you register. Take your time. What's the meaning of that? No. Register on internet. You have to be there. That's part of the sacrifice. Even you can't sacrifice 5 minutes. You want to do everything from the comfort of your room. We have not gotten there. So the second one, he's saying, what's it now that he's saying? That voters will only have confidence in the system if only both the electoral umpire and the security agencies change their ways and owe their full allegiance to the constitution of the nation, Nigeria, and not to the wish and caprices of government in power or their interests. This is by Harrison. Unfortunately, when next you send a message, let us know where you are sending your message from. Your full name, not just one small message. Just your name and where you are calling from, or you are sending your message from.
But
of course, you want to say something?
Yes, the person that talked about the
internet.
Online, yes. Actually, there is CVR. If you go to INEC CVR, one can do it online, a pre-registration. But it is safer to go and meet the officials.
But the window has even closed anyway.
Because I know mine, I use my phone. The official just walked me through with my phone and I did it there. But it's safer to go and meet them.
Okay.
Because I tried it before the 2023 election, I had problems. So it's safer to go and meet them.
Okay then.
Yes.
Okay then. For me, just as you have said, I wanted and I wish the normal thing is that you just go and now register physically. Then, of course, the next issue that I want us to look at is that these people that are asking for second term, are they not prepared before they got elected in the first instance? All those are issues. This is going to be, today's topic is just phase 1. We're going to run it through while we are giving the short end of the stick. Why this jostle and hustle and bustle by the political class and abandoning we the people to our own fate. Just as we said, the government machinery apparatus are all to the benefit of all those who are in government. to the detriment of we people that are outside it. If you are not close and even if you are related to those in government, you see them now. Anything is safe with them and within their circle. We are living in our own place. Even in the house, you see, just as you said, the government said it's going to withdraw private police to some of
VIPs.
That one is a talk, no action, and all. Be that as it may, that's the package for today. To me, it has been an interesting one, and I'm sure you too have enjoyed it. And I really want to appreciate our guest, Pastor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, sir. We appreciate you. I hope when next we call you, you will join us again. Malam.
Thank you so much, sir.
Your contribution has been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
The great Cromry, we appreciate you for coming. And I hope when next we call you, if I'm able to assemble this panel next week, I will appreciate it so that we dig deep, bite harder into the topic and ensure that the team, you go to paint them, you go to sweet us. Yeah, so that's the show for today. I want to really use this opportunity to thank the president of this organization, Chief Steve Ojo, for giving us this opportunity, and a great producer, Mr. Teslim Ajayi, the cameraman, the engineers, the Earth Station people, every one of you. It's been a wonderful team. No hitch. God bless you all. And to you, those who have been watching from our homes and those sending text messages, I get encouraging you. Be there for us and we'll be here for you. Cheers. Till next time we run into you or we meet with you again, don't do anything against the law. Cheers.